Have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back? Like you're looking at a stranger, someone hollow, lost, worn down by a life that just kept moving without you. Maybe you've felt it too, this numb drift through the days. Like you're awake, but not really alive. Your potential, once so vibrant, now feels like it's rusting in the corners of your soul. Time doesn't crawl anymore. It rips past like a river in flood, and you're just watching it go. Sometimes, it's not even one big moment that breaks you. Sometimes it's the slow grind of everyday disappointment. The heartbreak, the rejection, the small failures, the quiet giving up. Life hits you again and again, until one day, you just stop fighting back. And somewhere along the way, the fire inside you fades. What used to burn bright is now just dying embers. But listen to me. Fire never truly dies. It just waits. It waits for oxygen. It waits for a spark. And right now, this is that moment. This is your spark. Because you have a choice to make. Either you feed that flame, or you let it die out for good. And here's the hard truth. A man who bows to comfort is already a prisoner. He may look free, but inside, he's shackled to weakness. He avoids the climb, avoids the discomfort, and in doing so, he avoids becoming who he was meant to be. But that's not you, not anymore. Because there's something the ancient Stoics understood better than most. Life will not make it easy for you, but you were never meant to beg for ease. You were meant to become strong enough to bend life itself to your will. Marcus Aurelius didn't hope for an easier road. He learned to walk the hard one with grace. Seneca didn't wait for the world to change. He sharpened himself against its edge. And Epictetus? He was born a slave, and became one of the greatest minds in human history. He didn't see pain as punishment, he saw it as power in disguise. So I'm asking you, not as a motivational speaker, not as a coach, but man to man, what are you doing with your fire? Is it burning, or are you just carrying cold ashes in your chest, pretending they still matter? Because here's the truth. You can't fake strength. You can't fake fire. But you can reignite it. You can strip away the numbness, the excuses, the habits that keep you small. You can wake up, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Feed that fire. Let discomfort forge you. Let hardship become your training ground. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you to shrink. So ask yourself, right now, in this moment, will you rise or fade? Because this is the beginning. And you're not alone. You've got something ancient running through you, resilience, discipline, strength. It's buried under layers of doubt. But it's still there, and when you choose to rise, when you choose the hard path, the world better get ready. Because you're coming back, with fire in your chest, and steel in your spine. Let me ask you something that most people avoid. What are you still carrying that's already dead? What memory? What failure? What version of yourself are you dragging like a corpse chained to your back? Because here's the hard truth. You cannot move forward if your soul is still shackled to the past. So many of us live in invisible prisons, built from regret, decorated with heartbreak, guarded by the echo of mistakes. We hold onto pain like it's proof that we lived. We replay the breakup, the betrayal, the fall. as if watching it over and over again will somehow change what happened. But it won't. That breakup you thought would break you? It wasn't your death sentence, it was your wake-up call. That failure that whispers you're not enough. It never defined you, it refined you. And those people who doubted you, abandoned you, betrayed you, they didn't diminish your value, they revealed theirs. Let me be clear, you are not the man you used to be. That version of you is gone. Dead. And that's not something to mourn. That's something to celebrate. Marcus Aurelius said, "The past is a thing indifferent. It lies outside of us. And yet, we act like it's welded to our skin." But what if, right now, you made the decision to break that bond? What if you could tear up every silent contract you ever signed with guilt, shame, or old expectations? Imagine lighting them on fire. That old identity, the one who settled, who begged, who stayed quiet when he should have roared, it doesn't own you anymore. Rip it up, burn it down, because every time you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for what does. You see, the past isn't your prison. It's fuel. Fuel for the fire you need to reignite. Fuel for the man you're becoming, not the one you used to be. Let it burn. Let go of the what ifs, the should haves, the I wish I could go back. You don't need to go back. You need to go forward, with clarity, with power, with purpose. The man you were yesterday made mistakes. He struggled, he bled, but he got you here. Now, it's time to thank him for the lessons, and leave him behind. This is the reset. This is the moment you stop being a victim of your story, and become the author of your legacy. And yes, it's scary to let go of who you were. Because for so long, even the pain was familiar. But comfort in pain is not peace. It's paralysis. The fire inside you is waiting to be fed, not with more regret, but with bold, decisive action. You don't owe your old self anything. But your future self? You owe him everything. So light the match. Watch the chains melt and rise. From the ashes, from the silence, from the mess. This is not your end. It's your ignition point. Let me ask you something that most people are afraid to answer honestly. When was the last time you truly started over? Not just moved on, not just patched things up, but burned it down and built something entirely new from the ashes? You see, for most people, the thought of starting over feels like failure, like admitting defeat, like being a beginner again means they've lost something. But I'll tell you what the world won't. Starting over is not weakness. It's one of the most powerful things a human being can do. We've been conditioned to believe that struggle is something to avoid. That being lost means you're broken. But here's the truth. Every great man, every legend, every name that echoes through time, they all rebuilt themselves when everything collapsed. They didn't stay in the ruins. They didn't cry over what used to be. They stood up. They got back to work. And they built again, stronger, smarter, tougher. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as labor strengthens the body." And I believe that with every fiber of my being. Because when your world falls apart, you get two choices: stay buried in the rubble, or rise and rebuild. What most people don't realize is that your lowest point, that breaking moment, that's not your end. That's your forge. That's where something unshakable is created. if you're willing to do the hard work. You're not weak because you lost everything. You're not defeated because the old road crumbled. You're dangerous now because you've got the chance to choose again. To become intentional. To craft your life with clarity. Instead of coasting through it with comfort. Picture it for a second. A blacksmith hammering molten metal into a blade. That's you. Every setback. Every painful chapter. Every sleepless night. That's the heat and pressure reshaping who you are. You're not being broken. You're being reforged. Look back at every story of greatness, rock stars, athletes, entrepreneurs, warriors. Every one of them hit a wall, faced their demons, stared failure in the face, and chose to rise. They didn't wait for a miracle. They became one. This is your moment to do the same. It's not going to be comfortable. You'll feel like a fool sometimes. People will doubt you. You'll doubt yourself. But let me remind you, you are not starting from nothing. You are starting from experience, from scars, from wisdom that only comes from having fallen and gotten back up. And in case fear is whispering in your ear right now, let me share one more piece of Stoic wisdom from Seneca. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Most of the fear you feel? It's smoke. It's illusion. It's your mind playing tricks on you, convincing you that discomfort means danger. But discomfort is where strength is born. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Burn the old blueprint, pick up the pieces, and rebuild something legendary with your own two hands. You are the architect of your destiny. And this moment right here, it's not the end. It's the beginning of the strongest version of you the world has ever seen. Let me paint a picture for you. You wake up, you check your phone, you scroll for a minute, then 10, then an hour. You check a notification, then another. You reply, you scroll again. Before you know it, the sun's down, the day's gone, and you ask yourself, what did I even do today? This is the world we live in, where people are more connected than ever, and yet more lost than ever. We're surrounded by noise. Distractions aren't rare, they're constant. And here's the real danger. Most people don't even realize they're drifting. They're not lazy. They're just scattered, jumping from task to task, from app to app, from one shallow thought to the next, dreaming of success, but never stepping toward it. And if that hits you hard, good. That means you're waking up. Because here's the truth no one wants to hear. Success doesn't come to the curious. It comes to the committed. It demands more than effort. It demands obsession. You don't win a war by occasionally showing up to the battlefield. You win by locking in so hard that nothing, not fear, not failure, not temptation, can pull you off your path. Focus isn't about saying yes to your goals. It's about saying no to everything that isn't your mission. Look around. We're living in an era of distraction addiction. People are drowning in content, but starving for clarity. They chase 100 different things and wonder why they feel empty. But the Stoics knew better. Epictetus said it plainly. Freedom is the only worthy possession, and it begins with choosing what you give your focus to. That means you're free only when you choose your thoughts, your actions, and what you allow into your mental space. Ask yourself, what are you fighting for? Not what you say you want. What are you really giving your time, your energy, your soul to? Because if it's not moving you toward your mission, it's not neutral. It's in your way. And no, this isn't about being cold or robotic. It's about taking your life seriously, because no one else will do it for you. You can't build something great if you're constantly being pulled in 100 directions. You can't leave a legacy if your attention is hijacked every 5 minutes. So here's the challenge. Start saying no. Say no to the notifications. Say no to conversations that drain you. Say no to scrolling just to escape. Say no to anything that doesn't align with who you're becoming. And instead, say yes to your mission. Say yes to deep work, to long-term thinking, to becoming the kind of person who doesn't just dream, but executes relentlessly. Let that focus be so fierce that it makes people uncomfortable. Let it burn away every excuse, every distraction, every ounce of doubt. And if people can't handle your focus, that's not your problem. That's your edge. Live like your future depends on it. Because it does. And don't forget this final piece of Stoic wisdom. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Translation? You don't need more. You need less distractions, less noise, less drama, less of what steals your peace and clouds your vision. Your mission is waiting. So lock in, cut the clutter, and make your life undeniable. Let me hit you with a truth that took me years to fully understand. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your thoughts, your trust, or your energy. Some people aren't just distractions. They're destroyers. They drain you slowly. Not in one dramatic blow, but little by little. A sarcastic remark here, a guilt trip there, a conversation that leaves you feeling smaller, not stronger. You walk away from them, and you're not the same. Lighter in energy, heavier in doubt, and you start wondering, why do I feel so tired all the time? It's not because you worked too hard. It's because you've let the wrong people feed on your fire. Every moment you spend explaining yourself to someone who doesn't get you. Every text you send just to keep the peace. Every hangout that leaves you emotionally bankrupt. That's not connection. That's theft. And here's the thing. You don't owe anyone your energy. Not the friend who constantly compares. Not the family member who manipulates. Not the colleague who secretly roots against you. You owe you. You owe your future. You owe the version of yourself that you're building every single day. You have to start treating your energy like it's sacred, because it is. It's the core of who you are. And if you keep handing it out like free samples, don't be surprised when you have nothing left for yourself. You want to know why some people keep climbing and others stay stuck? It's not just work ethic. It's protection. The ones who rise protect their energy like a lion guards its pride. They cut off what no longer serves them. Cold, clean, without regret, because they understand this. Every second you spend with the wrong people is a second stolen from your mission. And listen, I get it. Cutting people off isn't easy. You think, but we've known each other for years. But they've been there for me before. Maybe they were. But are they still adding to your life? Or are they just comfortable anchors, holding you down while you try to fly? Here's the rule. If someone isn't fueling your fire, they're extinguishing it, and you have every right to walk away. No explanation, no guilt, no apology, because protecting your peace, your energy, And your purpose isn't selfish. It's survival. And the right people? They won't be offended by your boundaries. They'll respect them. They'll meet your strength with their own. They'll rise to match your energy, not drag it down. The rest? Let them fade into the background. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Because when you start living with protected energy, you become untouchable, unshakable, unstoppable. The Stoics understood this perfectly. They believed that your true power lies not in what happens to you, but in what you choose to allow. So choose wisely. Choose strength. Choose peace. Choose purpose. And above all, choose to protect the flame inside you. Because the day you do is the day the world realizes it can't dim your light ever again. Let me ask you something honest. How many goals have you abandoned because you didn't feel like it? You were pumped up at the start. The vision was clear. You had that rush, that fire, that let's go energy. But then life happened. You got tired. You hit resistance. That motivation? It vanished. And here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Motivation is fragile. It's like a spark. It flares up when it's convenient. But the moment things get hard, it disappears. But discipline? Discipline is different. It's the slow burning fire that keeps going whether you feel like it or not. Discipline doesn't care if you're inspired. It doesn't care if it's cold outside. If you're tired, if no one's watching, it shows up. It keeps going. It wins. Because your feelings? They will betray you. They will whisper. Take a break. Sleep in. You've done enough today. And if you listen to them, you'll drift. You'll pause. You'll slide back into comfort. And comfort is where dreams go to die. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Translation: obstacles aren't interruptions. They're invitations to rise. There is no perfect moment. No magical wave of inspiration is coming. If you wait to feel ready, you'll wait forever. Discipline is the only way forward. It's what gets you up at 5 a.m. when no one's watching. It's what pulls you to the gym when your body aches. It's what keeps you building, pushing, learning, even when the world gives you every excuse to quit. Because discipline is commitment without condition. You show up, no matter what, not because it's easy, not because it feels good, but because you said you would. And that consistency? It builds something terrifyingly powerful. A mind that can't be broken. A spirit that can't be shaken. A man that doesn't stop just because it's uncomfortable. You're not here to live soft. You're not here to be average. You're here to build something unshakable, a life, a legacy, a version of you that doesn't flinch under pressure. So next time your feelings say, "Take it easy," don't. Next time your mind says, "Let's skip today," don't. Let your discipline speak louder. Louder than your doubt. Louder than your fear. Louder than the noise around you. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're sharpening yourself. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't just dream, they execute. Who doesn't just wish, they work. Who doesn't stop, no matter what. So here's your challenge. Be the one who keeps showing up. Be the one who outlasts the excuses. Be the one who can't be stopped. Because in the end, it's not the most talented that win. It's the most disciplined. No one's coming to save you. Let that sink in. No miracle, No magic reset button. No second chance handed to you on a silver plate. Just you, your past, and this exact moment right here, the crossroads. Two roads lie ahead. One, you already know too well. It's the path of almost, of hesitation, of looking back over your shoulder, dragging old mistakes like chains around your ankles. That road leads to one thing: regret. Regret for the fire you never fed, the potential you never unlocked, the life you could have lived but didn't. The second road? It's the harder one, the one that demands you light a match, throw it behind you, and watch your past go up in flames. It's not about denial, it's about liberation. Because you can't rewrite your future if you're still haunted by a version of yourself that no longer serves you. So let me ask you, are you ready to bury the man you used to be, so the one you were born to become can finally rise? You've done the work. You've faced the fire. You've reset, restarted, refocused. You've protected your energy. And now, it's time to unleash. This is your moment to cut every excuse at the root. No more, someday. No more, once I feel ready. No more, what if. Now. Now is when you stop playing small. Now is when you silence the voice that says you're not enough. Now is when you tear through the walls that kept you comfortable and step into the storm that will make you powerful. And when you do, when you burn down the lies, the doubt, the identity that held you back, something remarkable happens. You rise, not as a new person, but as the real you. The one who's been buried beneath fear and excuses for far too long. The Stoics believed we are forged in fire. And now, it's your turn to become the flame. Don't just improve, rebuild. Don't just grow, transform. Be the man who doesn't just survive the storm, he becomes it. So here's the challenge, if you're bold enough to accept it. Burn the old, forge the new, and become so powerful, the world won't be able to ignore you. Because in the end, the version of you the world fears most is the one who chooses to rise when no one else will. And if you're ready to take that step, then say it out loud. I'm done playing small. I'm burning the old me. And I'm rising with fire in my chest. Let's go. If this message struck a chord in you, don't let it fade. Act on it, right now. Drop a comment below and say it out loud. Speaking head, I'm not waiting. I'm rising. Hit that subscribe button if you're ready to keep walking this path, because this isn't just a video series. This is a movement, one man at a time, one choice at a time, reclaiming power, rebuilding purpose, and rewriting the story. And if you know someone who's stuck, someone who needs this fire, share this video with them. Be the spark in someone else's life today. Because together, we're not just surviving. We're rising. Let's keep going.